Speaking of endearing furry creatures,
it's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
If you are a Sex and the City fan, then you've already seen the first 2 episodes of And Just Like That, which is it's not really a reboot. It's kind of like where they are now. You know how like they're bringing everything back?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Connors, they brought them back to what's going on with them right now. And everybody's older and on with their lives and that kind of thing. And just like that, people have been very excited. It's been really big news the entire time it's been shooting here in New York City, because every time they shoot, it's one of the few shows that everybody shows up. The paparazzi show up, the fans show up. And I saw more video of them shooting the show than the actual show yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so everybody was very excited about it. But, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes it's best to leave the past in the past.
All right. First off, why didn't they just call it Sex and the City?
Because there is a Sex in the City. Sex in the City was a series and it's over. So they're trying to distinguish Sex in the City from this new version where Samantha is not a part of it, where there's no Kim Cattrall. There was a famous picture that was put out that was, we weren't sure whether they were throwing shade or whether it was just accidental, but they gave us one of the first stills about 6 or 8 months ago, and it was Sarah Jessica Parker as Carrie, Kristen Davis as Charlotte, and Cynthia Nixon as Miranda, and they were walking down a street, and there was a trash can right there. So people were like, oh, I get it. So the 4th character is Samantha because she's trash, because she's gone. She's a trash can. They hate her. Like she's in the dumps. But, you know, and they were like, no, it was just a happenstance. It wasn't intentional. So that was a big controversy, whether, you know, they intentionally took a photograph next to a trash can to be like, fuck you, Kim Cattrall. You know what I mean? And then there's been literally dozens of Instagram pages that have millions of followers that are dedicated to every aspect of this show, of shooting it, the outfits. One of them is called Just Like That, the Outfits. Do you know what I mean? So this has been a big part of pop culture. The exciting thing about the show was the lead up to it, because the show itself, spoiler alert, is terrible.
And you are a fan. You went to both movies. Mm-hmm. You watched the series relentlessly. I
know it by heart.
You are a huge fan. So for you to say it sucks, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was one of that generation who grew up watching the show, and, you know, all your friends are like, which one's the Carrie? Which one's the Miranda? You know, that was always a thing. And because I was a writer and I had long blonde hair at the time, my friends were like, you're the Carrie. So yeah, I'm their target. I'm exactly what they're going for, as are my friends. So what's interesting is that Kristen Davis is a producer. Michael Patrick King, who was one of the producers and writers of the original, is the main producer and writer of this. So all the people that were involved, even Darren Star, all the people that were involved with the original, you know, I figured, well, maybe it's new people. Maybe that's why it's so terrible. Here's the problem. I realize now it was always written by gay men who hated women. That's what I think now. I now think, because my friends would never speak about me in the way that the Sex and the City writers, the materialistic and misogynistic way that they viewed women. So my big issue with this is that instead of just taking us like what they're doing now and what they're up to, and they're still friends and they're hanging out and they're going to eat and blah, 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 they had one theme that was on and on and on throughout the entire show, and it was so insulting. I'm going to play a couple of clips for you, and you see if you can figure out what the theme is of And Just Like That, right in the very beginning. It's like the first.
I just think the gray ages you. No, you think the gray ages you. Because if we're friends and I'm this age, you can't be whatever age you're pretending to be.
All right, that's number one.
Number one. Okay, here's the next one.
Instagram, podcast. I guess your passing is younger too.
Let me just say that Instagram and podcasting have all been around for a very long time, 15 years or more.
Mike Helmet, not a good look on a 58-year-old Jew.
Okay, got your age. And now
Wow.
Steve, Miranda's husband, who is about 52.
What's new? Hey, I got hearing aids. I'm an old-timer now.
No, you're not. Okay, first of all, why does Steve have hearing aids? Okay, so as you can hear, the theme of Sex and the City is, I'm old, you're old, she's old, we're old. Okay, first of all, you're the same age as Jennifer Aniston and Jennifer Lopez. Do they look old to you? Do you think they walk around apologizing because they have a wrinkle or they're not as whatever as like a 20-year-old? No. They just live in their damn lives. And this is what I'm saying. This is the construction of gay men who imagine what women over 50 must think of themselves. As if you can't look in the mirror and think, I look amazing. I'm better now. I know who I am. I can tell the world to F off. They have this view that if you're not, it's really ageist is the best way to put it. And I'm really surprised that Kristen Davis and Sarah Jessica Parker, who are producers on this, allowed this kind of dialogue over and over and over. They made it about their age constantly. They kept apologizing the entire time. You know, they're not 80. If they were 80 and this was like one of those movies where, I don't know if it was like Golden Girls or something. Even the Golden Girls. I mean, think about that. The Golden Girls, which is the show that Betty White is sort of famous for. You know, she was on that show with like three other women, and they were all in their 60s, 70s. One of them was in her 80s. They never made an age joke. They were just women living their lives, trying to get laid, going to dances. One of them dealt with the whole thing of, I think, like the daughter was going through an abortion or whatever. I'm just saying, like, they never went, I'm so old, I'm not going to go out anymore because look at me, my tits are on the ground. No! The entire thing was about how they've aged, how old they are. And then because one of the criticisms that the show always faced was that it didn't have enough people of color, they wedged in as many people of color for no reason. It was like suddenly Miranda's taking a class and the teacher is black and she makes some comment about her braids, and then it becomes this really cringy, awkward conversation. Like, I'm sorry, you're an attorney who wants to go into human rights, and you're going to sit there and talk about a woman's braids and make her feel like she shouldn't be a professor because she's African American and has what? It makes no sense whatsoever. But it's calling attention to how unwoke she is because she's old, and old people can't be hip or cool or intelligent or respect other people. I can't respect you. I'm too old. It's so insulting and so infuriating. It's not like it's your grandma. We got to teach your grandma that, no, I'm sorry. We don't say that about gay people anymore. No, I'm sorry. We don't say that about whatever people anymore. No, these are women who live in New York City. They live in New York City and they're in their 50s. So it does not ring true. It is completely insulting. And I will tell you the worst part. This is a major spoiler, but it's everywhere today. So if you're a fan of the show, you probably saw this story, you've heard about it, you're following it. I apologize in advance if you have not seen it, but at the end of the first episode, Carrie's married to Big. That's how they ended Sex and the City. They get married, right?
Right.
Big is on a Peloton and has a heart attack and dies.
Does he really?
The very first episode, he gets off the Peloton to get into the shower. He's feeling not so good, so he drops his phone in the shower, and I guess either it was too far away or we're not clear as to why he couldn't go reach his phone and call 911. And he grabs his arm and slides down the shower. And then Carrie comes home, finds him. He's still kind of alive. She starts yelling, John, because we found out his name's John, obviously.
We never knew
She's not going to call him Big to his face.
Right.
And then you don't know whether he's dead or not. So I watched the first couple of minutes of the second episode, which is the last I'll ever watch of it. I'm never watching the show again. It's so bad. And you see a body bag.
Oh, no. They killed him off that quick?
So they kill him off, and I guess they've already shown scenes of the the funeral and all that kind of stuff. Carrie is back on her own. And one of the things that people are very upset about, actually, about this on Twitter was like, Carrie could never make it work. It didn't work with Aiden. It didn't work with dude who broke up with her on a Post-it.
Didn't work out with Bon Jovi.
Didn't work out with Bon Jovi. It didn't work out with Timothy Oliphant. Like every single guy that she banged or was interested in a relationship with, it always ended up where they dumped her for some reason or she messed up somehow. And it was like, she's finally happy. The message is you can finally find love. And then they kill him off. Again, it's that old person theme. It's the idea that he's a little older than she is. He's probably 60. So, of course, you can't be 60 on a Peloton. You've got to die. And it was so...
too much for your heart.
It's too much for your heart. And it resonated so intensely with people that today, Peloton stock fell by 11%.
Because it kills people.
That's the message, that the Peloton classes are too intense.
Right.
And if you're over a certain age, you should not be on a Peloton. I mean, like the CFO of Peloton and all their people, they have all these like doctors who work for them. They all came running out to the media today going, wait, hang on. No, Peloton's actually the opposite. It stops you from having a heart attack. It keeps you alive longer. Go get yourself a Peloton. Like they had to get out there in front of it. Because Sex and the City basically said, nah, Peloton, if you're over 50, gonna kill you.
Can you imagine if you owned Peloton? Fuck me.
Right, I know.
Really? We're spending all this money to advertise this company, and you show somebody dying on it.
Right, I know. And that's exactly what happened. So, and then even like the excuse, they go into a whole thing of why Samantha wasn't there. They couldn't just say, she moved to London. She got an opportunity. She moved to London. She's really happy. But, she's not talking to any of us. That could have been enough. They had to throw in, well, she's over 60. And if she doesn't do it now, when is she going to do it?
Oh, no.
It's like, you know what? People move at any age. It's the fact that they, again, had to throw in a number. They had to throw in like a reason why she moved. Well, she is over 60. And that has to do with her moving to London. Why exactly?
I wonder if people in the 80s had this conversation because there was a movie called Cocoon. Remember Cocoon? It was a bunch of old people and they find a pool with alien stuff in it and then they feel young again.
Does it make them young or they just feel young?
They feel young.
Okay.
So they can run bases and they can do all kinds of things because they found this alien pool and it made them feel great again, but when you look back at it, Wilford Brimley was main character in that movie. He was 50 years old in real life. So he's like your grandfather. And then you look back at it, and when they started filming, he was 49 when they started filming it. Yeah. No.
That's hilarious.
So you look back at that and go, okay, well, it kind of makes sense now with Sex and the City. If back then, even you were calling 49-year-olds in an old age home.
Yeah, but he didn't look 49. He's looked 70 his entire life.
I know, but you look back at it and you go, oh, man.
No, but it wasn't like if it was Robert Redford, then you can be like, well, that's weird because even now he's in his 70s and he looks hot. He might even be 80 now, but he looks amazing. So, no, it has to do with the fact that Wilford Brimley he's always looked 100 years old. But that's the whole point. These girls don't. These girls they're city. And here's the weirdest thing about this. So I'm watching these three women who are pretending that 50 is really old. Like, I don't know how do we function? How do we breathe every day? And then you look at Real Housewives. All those Real Housewives are well into their 50s. Some of them are 60. They have had so much work done and so much plastic surgery, and they are off living their lives. Not one of them complains about their age, their looks, none of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
they should have went right off of that. They should have just redid that, but with these characters.
It's so tone deaf and it's so out of touch with who their audience is. Now, granted, I'm on the younger side of their audience, but their audience that is my age and older. And even, I don't even know if age has anything to do with it. I think if you're somebody that just watches Sex in the City, obviously you're going to see, and just like that, and you're going to see they're a little older. Don't acknowledge it. And if you do acknowledge it, like make one little joke and then go on with your lives. It was the constant theme every single time.
So that's on HBO Max.
Right.
Also on HBO Max, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2021. So you turn that on, and it was the first half so far that I've seen has been amazing, by the way.
Okay.
Taylor Swift looks amazing.
Yeah.
Probably the best she's ever looked.
I agree.
So she inducted Carole King, who came out and sang and was amazing. The second inductee was LL Cool J, and Dr. Dre came out and inducted him. So LL came on stage after that and performed some songs with some special friends came out. So I have that for you. So the whole time I'm watching this, I'm saying all these people are over the age of 50, and look at them.
I'm going back to Cali.
Nah, I don't think so.
LL Cool J is hard as hell. Battle anybody, I don't care, you tell. I accept
M?
That's Eminem coming out.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't even know Eminem was going to be there. So both of them on stage doing
You've
that.
been waiting and debating for so long. Just starving like Marvin
For
Paul.
Cool J's on.
If you probably thought I dodged, it definitely was wrong. The tickle thought was like what?
Wow.
They both look fantastic.
Oh, of course it. Well, okay, first of all, Eminem's only 49.
He's 49, but still, LL is 50-something.
53.
This is just a filthy figment of my diseased imagination.
It's Cooper and Anthony.
The most brutal "Why do millennials" tweets from 2021.
Oh no. But let me just say one thing. Like, it's so weird how it's boomers versus millennials. Like, it's amazing how they keep going after each other. They skip a generation. Like, nobody bothers with Gen X.
No.
It's all millennial versus boomer. Let me hear.
Yeah, because I think it's everybody against millennials. So I think...
Yeah, Gen Z goes after them also.
Yeah, so the first one, why do millennials turn 30, then decide to start selling crafts?
Oh my God, that is hilarious because a girlfriend of mine, that's exactly what she's doing. She turned 30 and she's like, I'm making jewelry now. I'm like, where? She's like, on Etsy.
Yeah, Etsy's the problem. That's the problem.
She sent me something. She's like, I'm going to be doing a trunk show on Friday if you want to come down. You could buy my stuff on Etsy or you can come to the trunk show. I'm like, how about neither?
Or you can watch it on Instagram when I do it live.
Right.
And I show off my rings on Instagram.
Exactly.
Why do millennials always make their dog part of their wedding? That is so true because I went to a wedding on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And the dog had the ring on. There was another dog that kept running up and down the aisle. Dogs everywhere during this wedding.
I love that.
There was a dog in a wedding dress.
Oh my God. You know that if my boyfriend and I ever got married, you know that the only people at our weddings would be dogs. Like we would it would be mostly dogs, some people, but just know that like, if you don't like dogs, don't come to my wedding.
Why do millennials always hold a cup of coffee whenever they make a video? You always see a guy in the background with a cup of coffee in his hand.
That's a good point. Yeah, it is a little annoying, especially on TikTok.
Why do millennials pride themselves in having self-caused, crippling social anxiety?
Okay, I'm not going
Every
to
single
disagree with
one.
But, okay, I think that's also because millennials, I mean, you know what's so funny about you and I? You and I are sort of in between generations, so we're not really anything. So I'm not going to say we millennials because we really aren't millennials either. But I think for millennials, they're just more comfortable with talking about social anxiety. You know, like
No, everybody has it. Everybody. I have to get medical marijuana because my anxiety. Both of my kids have it. You know,
Right.
Every kid I know has anxiety, and it's all self-caused, crippling social anxiety.
Here's my rule. If you invite me to a party, do you have a dog? If the answer is yes, I will be spending the night with the dog.
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is no, I'm not feeling well today.
Or I need a gummy. Why do millennials love taking photos of themselves in bathroom mirrors? We don't know.
I know.
We
That's
don't know. Nobody knows.
Let me tell you something. Remember when I was doing that study where I was looking at all the dating apps? That's the one thing I noticed. Men more than women. Every single boy and man on the dating apps, every single body shot they took, they were all in bathroom mirrors. Every one of them.
I think it's going to be in 100 years. They'll look back at this in history books and talk about it. Back in the 2000s, this is how people took photos.
Like, bitch, hand the phone to your friend and take a real picture.
Why do millennials pause and record and pause on every sentence on their TikToks?
Oh, that's so annoying. I hate that.
It go like every single one.
No, it's not just there. It's on YouTube also. I was watching this YouTube the other day. I'm not going to say who it is because she's famous. But she was like, okay, you guys, and then it stopped and she came back. And then it's like another angle where she's like, was going to tell you guys this story, except I realized that I really shouldn't be. And then it stopped again. It was like, motherfucker, just tell a story. Just finish a sentence.
I don't know how they do it. Every single one. Why do millennials throw the word literally around literally everywhere?
That's their like. Remember our generation was like.
Or
like.
We did It was then like, and now literally.
They have two that they do. Literally, this was literally, that's one of them. And the other is, by the way. By the way.
I guarantee you don't notice this because you don't see people driving actual cars, but it's a thing now. And every time I pass somebody, I get this look on my face. Why do millennials wear AirPods while driving?
Oh, that's annoying.
It's like your radio not work in your car. They drive around with AirPods.
Right, because whatever they're listening to, that's how they're listening. But you know what? It's millennials and Uber drivers.
Well, I can see Uber drivers because you don't want to talk to who's ever in the car.
Oh, that's true. But it's still distracted driving. I don't like it.
Why do millennials call it a gallery wall if they hang a bunch of photos on a wall? That's my gallery wall.
Well, I'd prefer gallery wall to vision. What's that? Vision board.
Vision board.
Don't call it a vision board.
And millennials love to talk about being hungover. So hungover.
Yeah.
Tied it on last night. So hungover.
Yeah, rosé all day. Yeah.
Shut up.
My favorite thing are the millennials that are 40 that are moms, and they all post on Instagram, mostly Instagram more than TikTok, I think, about like how tough it is being a mom. Oh, it's so hard. Look how hard it is. It's so hard. Like no one's ever been a mom before.
No, this is the first. It's
the first time anyone's ever been a mom.
Kids. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're having less kids than our parents and their parents before them. Remember when families had like 18 siblings? Now they have like
my boyfriend's
one.
the youngest of 6.
Right. And now people have one or even none.
Yeah. My best friend was the youngest of 10 growing up. She said no one talked to her till she was like 15.
Yeah. I mean, and they all lived in like a 2-bedroom house.
Yes, that's right. That's true.
And now you don't have anything like that. You have none of that. So how is the world going to evolve in 20 years? It's not.
Well, here's my favorite thing about millennials. They have a pug and a baby, and they're like, these are my 2 children.
Yeah. The baby needed a brother. No, that's not his brother. It's a dog.
The pug needed a brother, so we had a baby.
It's a nasty, stinky dog that licks its balls.
I think I have a pretty good notion of what they're up to.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
You love doctors? Here's a dermatologist answering skin questions from Twitter, so you can get real questions from a dermatologist without having to go to the doctor.
Okay, that's good. That's free.
The worst thing you can do for your skin is go tanning. Not only do they cause skin cancer, but they also accelerate aging rapidly. Hi, I'm Dr. Maneev Shah, and this is Skin Support.
No,
Okay, hang on. Stop. I'm going to stop him right there. Everybody and their mother knows that the sun is bad for your skin and it ages you and it gives you literally everybody knows that. That's why every single doctor everywhere, every dermatologist tells you to put sunscreen on every day, whether it's sunny or cloudy. Wear a hat. This is the advice that this idiot's going to give me, because this is something that everybody knows.
No, nobody knows, because when I went to the beach on Long Island, nobody knew. They all look like bacon. Every single
they
one
didn't
of
care.
them.
They knew. They just didn't. It's like people that smoke. They know it's bad for them. They do it anyway.
No, they go out there and lay until they're fried. Every single one of them. And you can't walk on that beach. There's so many people.
I know. I'm not saying that they know. They're well aware. If you said to them, can you get skin cancer from laying in the sun? Oh, yeah. I don't give a fuck. That's Long Island for you.
But I look good now. Well, what about next week? No. Screw next week. I look good
Don't
now.
Don't worry about it then.
At Young Forehead, great username. Should you or shouldn't you pop your pimples?
Should you or should you not pop your pimples?
Yes, you should.
You should?
Pop your pimples and then put medicine on it.
He's going to say no, I guarantee
I'm trying to settle a debate. All right, let's settle this debate right now. Anyone who follows me knows I am very much against popping your pimples.
See, told you. They don't like it. They want you to have some big zit on your face.
They can lead to infections. They can lead to scarring. We have to think about what causes a pimple, or where is the pimple in your skin in general. It's actually stuck inside your hair follicle unit, or basically inside your pore. So this pimple is a little puffball filled and stuck inside this pore. Now it's restrained there, which is fine. It's not going to cause any scarring at this point. The second that you pop it,
we can stop COVID now. Why can't we
rupture that hair follicle and it damages the surrounding collagen?
I mean, seriously, this has been around since the cavemen. You can't figure it out. If you say it's in the hair follicle, we'll figure it out.
Because of all that inflammation. So that's where you get scarring. So definitely don't pop your
I don't have hair on the corner of my nose. I get my pimples on the corners of my nose. There's no hair follicle.
If you don't want scarring, if you don't want that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation that sticks around forever, there are so many good spot treatments out nowadays that eliminate your pimples pretty quickly without you having to pop them.
I pop them anyway. Thank you.
Asked, why is there no cure for hair loss?
Exactly. Why? It's 2022.
I wish there was, because everybody, including myself, suffers from hair loss. We don't have an answer yet. Hopefully one day in my lifetime we will have an answer. But all of our
we can cure COVID
cells go through basically
sorry, Doc. It's in your DNA. You have balding is in your DNA. It's part of your genetics. So until you can go into the DNA strand and find which exact DNA strand is responsible for balding and then find a way to change that, it's not going to happen.
No, they can have like a spray paint. You
programmed death cycle. They can only live so long. They're all meant to replicate a certain amount of time.
Well, they make shampoo that's really, really good and makes hair grow.
And then eventually die off.
It's 2022. What's wrong with you?
Cells are exactly the same way.
And why are you wearing scrubs on a video?
Once they die off, you really can't get them back.
To let you know he's a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Treatments
but I can buy scrubs. So,
dermatology that can actually stop the hair loss process.
I like those Figs one. They're like kind of skinny scrubs. They look good.
Skinny scrubs?
Yes, by this company called Figs.
Figs
back, but nothing that's a complete cure at this time.
Wow.
Hopefully one day we do, but if we ever were to have a cell that were to continue to replicate forever and ever.
Okay, dogs don't lose hair. I mean, they lose hair, but they grow it right back. You don't see a bald dog. You never go, that is a balding dog. So why?
Yeah, that's because it's their DNA. It's in their DNA.
So give me dog DNA.
Between
dogs don't have zits and dogs don't have hair loss.
Last long enough.
Dogs have zits.
Do they?
Produce hair shafts.
I pop them. I pop the dog zits.
Not last long enough that it turns into a cancer. Rocking it for you asked,
I pop the dog zit and then I put some Neosporin in it.
So he wants to know, rocking for you, how safe are tanning boots?
I used to go tanning all the time. As a result of that, I ended up developing skin cancer at the age of 31 when nobody in my family has ever had skin cancer. And I went tanning probably over 100 times. So we know that tanning booths are going to increase your risk of skin cancer. We know that it's going to accelerate aging. As a matter of fact, you have UVB radiation and you have UVA radiation. Now, UVB radiation, UVB stands for bad. That's the one that damages your DNA.
I don't think it stands for bad.
It's not what it
causes skin cancer. And then UVA mostly causes...
So what does UVA stand for? Awesome.
Causes aging. Well, our tanning booths are actually mostly UVA. So not only do they cause skin cancer, but they also accelerate aging rapidly. So that's why people that use tanning beds often look much older than their age.
But they're safer
And so
now.
they're not safe. They increase the risk of skin cancer. And if there's one thing that I do on all my social media platforms and when I get on here and I talk to all of you, is the worst thing you can do for your skin is go tanning. Hujo PD asked, "Hey Siri, how do I get rid of genital warts?"
Go to the doctor.
Probably not tweeting to everybody about your genital
Right.
I'm asking for my friend Cooper.
warts would be a good start.
It's not for me. Cooper asked me that all the time off the air.
Genital warts are actually
my genital
caused
warts
by
are a problem.
Yeah, last week, Doc, she asked me about crabs. This week, she's asking about
HPV,
warts.
or human papillomavirus.
And then pus. Pus came up a couple of weeks
And then
ago.
human papillomavirus can cause cervical cancer in women. And
Have you ever seen any pus like this? I know,
can also
Cooper. I
cause
don't.
penile
You should go
cancer
to the
in men.
doctor.
If you
What
do
I
have
do about genital warts?
genital warts, that's something you want to get treated. And it's also something
Why'd Joe just run out of the house?
Oh, shit, it's upgrade.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up this topic because it's going on in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is something that went viral today, and it's right in your neighborhood.
Okay.
So a woman shared a receipt from her dinner where she decided not to tip a waitress who gave her terrible service. Okay, she put it on TikTok.
What's
so
the
she's
restaurant? Do we know?
Metro Diner.
Oh, okay.
It's in Charlotte. So she gets the bill, and right where it says tip, she writes in big giant letters, "Do better." Okay? And then she posts it on TikTok, and the only thing she says is, "When your service sucked, here's your tip, bitch." Okay? So a lot of people were like, it really divided people because there were people that were in full support that were like, listen, if somebody is not doing their job well, if they don't treat you well, if they hate their job, if they're terrible servers, you shouldn't tip them. And other people were like, you know what? You don't know what the person was going through. You got to be a little more sympathetic. Somebody said, as a server, we match energies. So I don't know the full story. She was probably short-staffed and you gave her some attitude, so she matched it. Somebody said, you're the reason I quit serving. If anyone's rude, it's you, sweetheart. Someone else said, you wasn't going to tip anyway. But, then there are people that also feel the way I don't know. See, this is my big thing. I was a waitress for so long. I've worked in very busy restaurants. I've worked in high-end restaurants. I've worked in, just a step above fast food restaurants. So I know busy. I know not busy. I know the whole, there's not a waitress scenario that I've not been in. I was a waitress for years. Okay. If you're giving me bad service because you're terrible at your job or because you're distracted or lazy or on your phone or some other reason, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you a tip or a good tip at that. But if you're really, really busy and you just can't get to me because you're so busy, I understand that. It's terrible that you can't multitask a little better, because I was really good at that sort of thing, but not everybody is. So I don't know. I think it goes by a scenario basis. I don't think you can say I'm always going to tip bad service or I'm never going to tip bad service. I think it's, why did you have bad service? Was the person busy or were they lazy?
If you go out to a restaurant where somebody serves you and brings you something to your table, you have to tip no matter what. If you don't want to tip, then you know what? Stay home. If you don't want to tip, go through a drive-through.
No, if you don't want to work, stay home. I actually, this happened to my friends and I before COVID. We'd gone out to eat and we debated what to do. This waitress, I don't know whether she just didn't like us, was in a bad mood, hated life. She had such an attitude from the second she walked over. She didn't walk over and say, hi, can I take a drink order? She walked over, she went, drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, yeah. And we ordered our drinks. And then one of my girlfriends asked her a question about red wine. And she, Cabernet or Merlot? If you don't know about wines, maybe you shouldn't be ordering any. And then when she brought our food over, she literally like threw it down. She was in the worst mood, or she hated us. I don't know what the deal was, to the point where we were like, we should call the manager over. Like, we're paying a lot of money. This is a decent, it wasn't an expensive restaurant, but it wasn't a cheap restaurant. It was a step above Applebee's and a step below Ruth's Chris. It was somewhere between there. My girlfriend was like, we should call the manager over. I said, okay, let's not call the manager over because we don't want to get the girl fired. But on the other hand, we can decide with our tip what we're going to do. And we all decided at the end of the meal, we're not tipping her.
You didn't tip her?
We didn't tip her. We did not tip her. 0. We put 0. We didn't write do better.
Right.
But we thought, you know what? We're paying a decent amount of money to eat here. We could have all eaten at home. We went out to dinner. You know, we're there so the restaurant can make money, so she can make money. We were treated so poorly, like they didn't care about our business, like they didn't need us there. It's like, I just paid $15 for a salad. I could have that for free at home. Mm-hmm. So sorry if my $15 salad wasn't okay with you. I don't know. We all decided, you know what? We're not gonna call the manager over, but we're just not gonna tip her, and that's what we did.
No, I think you give 10% instead of 20 or 25 or 30. I think you give a lesser tip, but you still have to tip.
Why? You don't have to tip. Not if you get service like that. Not if somebody has an attitude like that. Definitely not.
Now, what you should do is then go to a place called Dick's. So this is Dick's. This is their MO. They give you shit.
What do you want? You're like 35. The kids menu is 8 and under. Oh my God. Do I look like I'm in charge of anything? All right, that's fine. You know what? Fine. You want to cheap out? That's cool. What are you drinking? What are you drinking? What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
I would
Your
love
lemonade
that.
is going to be this big because you're ordering off the kids menu and I'm not refilling it for you. What do you want? What? Weird. Off the regular menu or the baby menu? All right, enjoy your ridiculously tiny hamburger. What are you drinking? Whatever. You. What? Great. Drink.
This is the perfect job for you.
You. What are you getting?
I would love it.
Off the baby menu? That's fine. Let's save you money so you can figure out how to leave me a decent tip, okay? Because right now I have no prayer.
But that's the point of the restaurant, that they treat you badly, right? That's the whole point of it.
That's why it's called Dick's, is because they're dicks.
That makes sense. If I know I'm expecting to be treated like that, it's hilarious, and I tip well because I'm part of the joke. I'm in on the joke. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this bitch's problem was, and obviously it couldn't be personal. She didn't know us. But, you know, like I said, I'm sorry that you're working a job that you hated, but that's not my problem.
No, I think everybody are just assholes now. I keep saying this. Everybody in the world are just assholes.
Yeah.
I go through the McDonald's drive-thru. They don't look at me. They don't say, thank you for coming. I pulled up the other day and they went, yeah. Not, welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order? Yeah. And then drive around. You can't give me the how much. And then you pull up and they just kind of throw it at you. They don't say thank you, look at you, nothing. So
yeah, but you don't tip there. No, but see, but there they don't get tips.
But everybody's an asshole.
Okay.
Everybody in the world has turned into assholes overnight.
Everybody wears a mask in my neighborhood. It's the weirdest thing, but mostly I live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of medical schools and there's a lot of doctors and there's a lot of hospitals and emergency rooms. Of course, I'm a hypochondriac, so I have to live where there's doctors literally everywhere. And they're all walking around with masks on. It's just a thing around here. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking the dog. I have a mask on, and literally everyone around me has a mask on. This guy comes out of one of the hospitals just like a patient. I don't even know what he was. And he goes to me, "Hi, excuse me. I thought he was going to ask me like, what kind of dog is that, or something about the neighborhood." He goes, "You're outdoors. Why are you wearing a mask?"
Oh my God. No, he did not.
And like, he didn't realize who he was talking to. Like, you can't
see.
I turned around. I said, "'Cause mind your fucking business." Is that a good enough reason? And that set him off, of course. But he didn't realize, again, who he was dealing with. So he said something like, "Oh, why would anybody want to talk to you?" I said, "You just did, motherfucker. You just talked to me." And he goes, "You're ugly." I was like, "You're fat and bald. Look who's talking. Do you even own a mirror?"
He called you ugly?
Yeah, it's like, well, first of all, I had a hat on, glasses, a mask, so you couldn't even see my face.
Right.
But that's his go-to, because he's a misogynist. He went right to, like, it's a woman, she must be ugly. And he was, like, fat and bald and ugly. So I was like, most women would just, I don't know, cry, run away. I don't know what most women do. I turned around and I let him have it, to the point where he just, like, backed off and walked away because he realized that he made a huge mistake. He poked the bear.
Yeah.
He didn't realize who he was stopping and talking to. Because I'm relentless. Like, once you set me off, I'm going to keep going.
Why don't you carry a taser and just tase people like that?
I should have.
Yeah, just hit them one time. There's no reason to talk to me. Don't ever talk to me. Here.
Right.
This is going to teach you. Just carry it around. Hit them with 3 million votes. Shut up.
Well, I have pepper spray. I could have done that.
Yeah,
and
just
then and then when the police showed up, said something like, "Oh, I thought he was gonna." He was a very big guy, and I'm a little girl, so I don't know what he was going to do to me. So I really was.
Self-defense.
Yeah, self-defense. I really could have been scared.
See, what is this?
Sounds like something I heard before.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I think we have Louis C.K. on the phone. I don't know.
Hello.
I just got through saying that there's one thing. When I got married, I thought I would have to stop waiting for men to call me. I thought that part of my life was over. Instead, I'm sitting here going, "You think he's going to call? You think he's going to call? Did I make a bad impression?" I went right back there.
I called when I was supposed to call, didn't I? Were you having to wait for me?
Yeah, you're a little late. I got to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm one of those girls.
4:30, my time.
Mm-hmm.
And what time is it right now?
You're 3 minutes late.
All right.
Young man.
All right, look. All right. I'm about to break some FCC rules.
Were you pooping? I understand. That's okay.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. I got a husband.
No, and I have to. My wife is out, so when I poop, I have to have the doors open, because otherwise I got to gather all my kids into the toilet with me to watch it. So I have to put them somewhere where they make them stay, where I can see them while I poop.
That's a good way to potty train. Watch, kids.
Exactly.
Watch the faces Daddy makes. Ooh.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is the first thing you lose as a parent is the privacy to do that. And it's made me, this is how old I am, I love pooping. It's my favorite thing in the world to do now, because I never get to do it. I don't know why they call it number 2, really. I think it's easily the best one. Easily the best one. That's what I think.
That's right. So, we're talking to Louis C.K. If you don't know who he is, then you live in a hole. But I gotta say, for the people who don't know who you are, that's the problem. That's why Anthony and I are very upset, because we watch television and we go, the minute we like a show, it's getting canceled.
Mm-hmm.
We feel that it is because of us that Lucky Louie got canceled. We apologize.
Well, you guys suck then. No, it's not your fault.
No, but the minute we like a show, I don't understand. How are people not watching that show? It's so clever. It's really well written.
The greatest 2 lead-ins in the world that lead into the show.
I mean, Sopranos, Entourage.
What's really weird is that the ratings went up every week. Every week we had more viewers from the previous week.
Mm-hmm.
And it performed really great. But they killed it. I don't know.
But why? How could that possibly happen?
Well, HBO is a little snotty. I mean, we were very working class for them, and the show was very junky looking. It was intentionally that way, but it's just not what they were used to. And I think there were some sort of highfalutin people up on high who, who like to get awards and go to banquets, and they didn't like it. So. Okay,
so basically you snuck the show in under their noses. They didn't know what was going on their own channel.
Well, the people who create the programming for HBO, like the people that develop TV for HBO, they're awesome, and they loved the show. They gave us free reign. It really broke their hearts. It was really further up there, way up there, the people with the money and stuff. I don't know. I don't really know what happened. It just was weird because we were doing well. Like we found out that we compared really well to other shows that they had done for the first year.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing great and rated higher than. I mean, that was The Wire, which is their biggest achievement right now critically. Like critics love The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
They get the same ratings that we did, and they're actually promoted. But we were doing as well as they. So I don't know.
Well, why would they want a high-rated show? Please.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. But I got to do it for 12 episodes, and folks really loved it. So
you know what's going to happen now? I mean, you really, because it's the first sitcom they did, right? It's the first multi-camera sitcom. It was a big deal that they did that. Now something else is going to come along. You've started something there, and there's going to be others that come along that they'll figure out how to do better and do right, or the way they want to do it actually, and they'll be like, Louis had it.
Yeah, I don't think that they want to do it anymore. I mean, my agent asked them, because my agent doesn't care. I'd like to sell somebody else to the network.
Sure.
Said, they called and said, hey, sorry, we're canceling Louis' show. My agent said, well, how about Joey or Mike? They could have shows. But anyway, they said that they're not going to try anymore. They're not going to do it because they figured that ours was the best version of that.
Right.
And it's just something they don't want to do. So
interesting. Well, Anthony and I each have a philosophy what the problem was. Anthony?
Yes, the problem was way too much male nudity.
And I feel...
Well, I know people didn't like that.
No, but, I feel not enough male nudity.
Yeah, you see? And
I think that was the problem.
No, there was no female nudity. It was all male nudity.
Yeah, well, go to Hooters. I mean,
thank you.
It's so funny to me that people think because we showed male nudity, well, then we should show. There's plenty of female nudity on the internet, in your sitting on top of your toilet in a magazine.
Right.
It's everywhere. It's
right.
And hey, there's 51% of you ladies, so I'll go with you.
Yeah, that's why I like the show. No female nudity, not enough male nudity. That was the problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, and if you come down, maybe I'll do it on stage.
Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. We have to say that if you live in Charlotte, because the show's national. If you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Louis is going to be at the Comedy Zone October 27th and 28th.
That's right.
Now, do you like doing the touring thing?
I love it. It's great. I've been doing stand-up since I was 17, and I never stopped. And I'm doing a big hour special for HBO that we're shooting in 2 weeks. So this is like my final tune-up week for that.
Oh, I see. So you go on tour basically to try out your material that you're going to be using.
Yeah, to build the hour, because I only can write on stage. I can't sit down and write.
Oh, that's interesting.
I go on stage and work it out. But now it's just sort of keeping limber, because I've got the hour ready, the material's ready. But I'm going to go to Charlotte and bang up that club for 2 nights, and then a week from Saturday I'll be shooting my special here in L.A. at this big theater.
November 4th, right?
November 4th, it's at the Henry Fonda Theater. I don't know if you have listeners out here.
But probably do.
Well, if they go on TicketWeb, they can get tickets to that. It's only $15. I kept it cheap because I like poor people.
That's good.
But if you want
they
tickets,
laugh more.
If you want tickets to Charlotte, it's 704-348-HA-HA. Call them now and get those tickets.
Right. And now we do this thing called 5 questions before you hit the door.
Okay.
You ready?
But first, I want to know, is Lucky Louie going to come out on DVD? Do you have plans for that?
Yes, it is. January 30th, and we already did the commentary. Me and Pamela Adlon, who plays my wife,
we
did commentary together on 3 or 4 episodes. The DVD is going to be awesome. And there's an episode on the DVD that never aired, too.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
That's going to be cool.
Nudity?
No female nudity.
Anthony, that's what we like about the show.
No, the show was written so well. I mean, it was a perfect example of a marriage.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that's what it felt. It came right straight out of my marriage.
It's your stand-up routine, basically, brought to life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so how could that not be? I don't understand. I don't understand.
To us, the mandate of the show was to make people laugh really loud, and we did it all the time. That's why we had an audience there to feed off of them.
Right.
So that's all it was. If you watch Lucky Louie, it's on cable now. It's on HBO now.
On demand, yeah.
You'll laugh. If you don't not laughing, you're stupid and wrong.
Okay, so 5 questions before you hit the door. Ready?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. How many hot dogs can you eat in 10 minutes?
Boy, I don't know, probably somewhere between 14 and 50. I don't know.
Impressive.
10 minutes? A lot. I can eat a lot of hot dogs.
You should go and do that Nathan's Hot Dog Championship.
You could be Kobayashi.
You could be Kobayashi with that one.
If you go by any Nathan's by any day, I'm probably doing that, just not with people watching. For money, I just do it as a form of self-hate. Why be competitive about that?
Yeah, heck yeah. We're talking to Louis C.K. If you don't know who he is, then you live in a hole. Now, do I look fat?
Do you look fat?
Yeah.
If you're asking, probably.
Okay.
See, he thinks you need to lose 10 pounds.
10 pounds
too.
also, yeah.
But
Spoken like a real husband.
Fat. I think you look fat to somebody. I mean, everybody looks fat to somebody. You look fat to yourself if you're asking. But who cares if you look fat? Who cares? I'll do you. I got 0 qualms.
If I gave you $10, would you rather kiss Chad or Anthony on the lips?
Geez, I don't know what they look like, but based on the name Chad that's 100% guaranteed he's gay. So I don't know if I'd rather kiss a gay guy or a straight guy.
It's a moral dilemma.
I'd rather kiss a gay guy because at least somebody's getting off on it. Not that a gay guy would want to kiss me.
That's gonna be a button.
I'll give you back the 10, and I'll kiss both of them.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's even better.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to pick one: the Who or the Beatles.
I have to pick one?
You got to pick one. Who do you prefer, the Who or the Beatles?
Oh, the Beatles. Really?
Right answer.
Yeah. All right.
The Beatles had more money. That means they're better. And the Who, I don't know. Who cares? The Who.
I do.
Beatles.
I do. Huge Who fan over here. But
I love the Who. But if I had to pick,
I made you pick, didn't I?
what's that?
I made you pick. I know it's my fault. I made you pick. All right. Well, we're playing the Beatles when we have sex then.
Simply because Yellow Submarine is the only thing that shuts my stupid 4-year-old daughter up.
Wow.
I love that song.
Then good choice there. Last question. 24 straight hours at Tyra Banks show or 5 minutes with an angry ferret down your pants?
Oh, I would, geez, I can't say that on radio, can I?
No.
I would please the ferret orally before I would even look at a still photo of that stupid woman who I hate.
Excellent. Good answer. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
HBO's big deal, right? The HBO special is still a very big deal.
Oh, yeah, very big deal.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so, and it's an even bigger deal that I was on the radio with you, even though I have zero idea what your names are.
Cooper Lawrence.
That folks are hearing my voice in places that aren't my house. That means someday I'll be rich.
No, we have friends in common, you and I. Actually, I think you and I actually played poker at Eddie Brill's house once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. Back in the day.
You're not that weirdo.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
No.
she is.
That would not be me. No, that would not be. Ask Eddie Brill. He'll tell you.
She's a comedian groupie.
Yeah, I was a comedian groupie. Had my share of some of your friends. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Louie. Thank you so much for your time.
Dog is barking and I'm on the radio.
How dare she?
Yeah. Stupid mutt.
Wait, she's an Airedale?
How do you know that?
Because I saw the picture.
By the bark?
No, I saw by the bark. That's how well I know dogs. That feels
Part
like
Airedale, part German Shepherd, part my daughter's poop that she eats out of the toilet if I don't flush it. Disgusting, horrible dog. Hate her. Hate my family. I want to kill myself. But I'm in Charlotte.
On that note.